Alright everybody, so we're just going to hop right into the video. So today's video, as you can see from the title, is a plucking tutorial and a baby hair tutorial. Now we are plucking a 5x5 lace closure in the texture light Yaki, excuse me. This plucking technique does not have to just be for closures. You can also do this on frontals. I will explain a little more once we get into the video. Alright, so as I'm plucking, I'm going to comb the hair down to the side. That way you guys can just, pay attention and focus on the area that I'm plucking at that moment. So this side is done. So here I am combing it to the side. So when you start to pluck, you want to take a little piece of hair out, like the beginning of the hairline, and then you want to make your hair wet. You can make your hair wet, or you can pluck it dry. I like it better when it's wet. That's just my personal preference, but again, the more you guys do this, you will find what works best for you. And I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied over here, so excuse me if I'm pausing and messing up words and fumbling. Just gotta get it together. All right, so normally if this was a frontal, I would take about 3 or 4 layers back and pluck, but because this is a closure and it's a light Yaki texture, I'm only doing about 2 layers. If it wasn't light Yaki, I probably would have went back a little more, but you don't want to have this thick hair and these thin edges, so you'll look like you're going bald. Okay, so when I say 3 or 4 layers, I mean I would part pluck, and so forth if it was a frontal, but I'm only parting and plucking twice on this closure. So the beginning of the closures usually have like a very square hairline, so I'm going to pluck about 2 to 3 times in the front right at the hairline, just to take away the square demarcation. When you're plucking, you don't want to pluck right at the hairline. You want to go back like a ½ inch. So what I just pointed to is the hair follicles. You want to make sure when you're plucking that you see those hair follicles coming out. If you don't see those hair follicles, then you're not plucking correctly. And it's kind of like our natural hair. If we was to pull a strand of hair, we're going to see the white hair follicle at the end of the hair. So it's the same thing for wigs or closures or however you want to call it. So I parted that little piece. As you guys can see, I'm not plucking right at the beginning of that part. If you do that, you're going to cause balding. I'm plucking behind the part, about a ½ inch behind the part, and I'm just pulling the hair from the front. So that's all plucking is. Plucking is literally, you're just pulling the hair from the front to thin the front out. And once you get that section good, you can either part it and pluck more behind the part, or you can just move your hand back, move your tweezers a little further back and start plucking, and you'll see it's going to get thinner and thinner and thinner. So as you guys can see here, I parted a second section, and now I'm plucking behind that section. So the lighting is not the best, and it may look like the unit is balding, or it may look like it's not plucked. Or it may look like the demarcation is still there, but it's just the lighting, and it's just the dome head. I have like some writing on my dome head, so it's making the writing look like it's the demarcation when it's really not. And if you guys stay tuned to the end of the video, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about on how the results were from plucking. So when I pluck and when I do baby hair, I do not like to make them symmetrical, meaning I don't like to have everything looking even on all sides of the head. To me, that just doesn't give off realistic vibes, and it screams wig or fake to me. So you guys will see when I'm plucking, one side will be a little more plucked than the other, and you'll also see when I'm doing the baby hair, one side will have more baby hair than the other. And to me, that just matches or mimics our natural hairline, because no one's hairline is perfect. Some people, have bald spots, some people have thinning, and etc. All right, so I'm going to finish this, and I'm going to show you guys how the closure looked before I started plucking, major difference. So watch when I comb this back. Look how thick that little piece is compared to what we already done. And when you're plucking, you guys do not have to move as fast as I am. Just remember, I've been doing this for a while. So I went ahead and plucked that other side off camera. So now I'm going to comb out everything that we plucked. Don't be alarmed when you see how much hair comes out of your unit when you're plucking. If only a little bit came out, I think I would be concerned, and you should be too. You want to make sure, that's the whole point of plucking, to remove the hair. So when you're combing it, you want to make sure that you're seeing all the hair that you just removed. Okay, look at all that. That's just a 5x5 closure. So now we are going to start the baby hair. Normally when I know a look that I'm going for, I will cut the baby hair and then style them, but I didn't know what look I was going for, so I decided not to cut them. I'm just going to go ahead and style them. So to style them, I'm using Afro-G. Yes, that's how you say it. Afro-G styling foam. I like the styling foam, but if you use a lot, it does kind of turn white. That's the only downfall of this styling foam, but I've been using it for a while, so I kind of know, how to work with it. So some people like to use the comb for the baby hair. Some people like to use a brush for the baby hair. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you, it'll get the job done. When I first started out, I was constantly on YouTube and I seen people say, oh, don't do this, oh, do that. Do whatever makes you comfortable, okay? So some people like, don't put your finger on the baby hair. Don't do that. Make sure you hold your brush 3 inches back. All this BS. And I'm here to tell you, just do what is comfortable for you. Do what gets the job done. But I am going to tell you to make sure you're using styling foam. It just allows the baby hair to move a little better. So once I'm done, I put this on, put her under the dryer, and now this is the results. Now for certain styles, I hate the baby hair to look stuck. You know what I'm saying? So I like to comb out the baby hair or brush out the baby hair, and that's what I'm doing here. All right, so this is the final look of the unit. As you guys can see, there's no balding, there's no deep line of demarcation. It's just a nice, seamless, all back look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.